Legal English for lawyers, students, and teachers. The topic is business law. Now, we are going to make out key expressions and phrases regarding legal English and business law. Let's get started. Now, official power giving someone the right to act on someone else's behalf in legal matters is called power of attorney. The protecting of information about individuals stored in a computer from being copied or used wrongly is called data protection. Without prejudice is a phrase spoken or written in a letter when attempting to negotiate a settlement, which means that the negotiations cannot be referred to in court or relied upon the other party if discussions fail. A joint venture is a business partnership where two or more companies join together as partners for a limited period. Force majeure is an expression of French origin that is used for something which happens which is out of control of the parties who have signed a contract, for example, a war or a storm, and is also known as an act of God. A grievance procedure refers to the various steps an employee takes if he or she wants to complain about his or her employers. Articles of association are the contents of a document which regulate the way in which a company's affairs, such as the appointment of directors or the rights of shareholders, are managed. A section in a company's number 7 above, which requires any shares offered for sale to be first offered to existing shareholders, is known as a pre-emption clause. When a company is put into liquidation, this is often known as winding up. The legal responsibility of an employer when employees are subject to accidents due to negligence on the part of an employer is called employer's liability. The legal responsibility of one person for the actions of another person, especially the responsibility of an employer for acts committed by an employee in the course of work, is called vicarious liability. A limited liability company is a company where each shareholder is responsible for paying the company's debt only to the face value of the shares he or she owns. A memorandum of association is a legal document setting up a limited company and giving details of its aims, capital structure, and registered office. A memorandum of satisfaction is a document showing that a company has repaid a mortgage or charge. A situation where two or more parties share a single legal responsibility and each party is also liable for the whole claim is called joint and several liability. When a dispute between two parties is settled before it gets to court, it is known as an out of court settlement. When an overseas company or an individual cannot access its assets because a court order prevents it from doing so, this is known as a freezing injunction. Unliquidated damages are compensatory payments which are not for a fixed amount of money but are awarded by a court as a matter of discretion depending on the case. The duty to prove that something which has been alleged in court is true is known as the burden of proof. Behavior which is not suitable for a professional person and goes against the code of practice of a profession is called unprofessional conduct. Facts which are secret and must not be passed on to other people are called confidential information. A body responsible for hearing work-related complaints as specified by statute is called an employment tribunal. An obligation of confidentiality is a legally binding rule that is imposed on the recipient of private or secret information, which states that the recipient should not pass the information on to someone else. The name, design, or other feature which identifies a commercial product has been registered by the maker and cannot be used by other makers is called a registered trademark. Intellectual property is something such as a copyright, patent, or design which someone has created or produced that no one else can legally copy, use, or sell. The conditions which have to be carried out as part of a contract or arrangements which have to be made before a contract is valid are called terms and conditions. The removal of someone from a job for a reason that cannot be justified and which is in breach of contract is called wrongful dismissal. Unfair competition is an attempt by one company to do better than another company by using methods such as importing foreign products at very low prices or by wrongly criticizing a competitor's products. A failure to carry out an essential or basic term of a contract is known as a fundamental breach. Compulsory liquidation is when a court orders a company to close and its assets to be sold.